Microphone's on. Microphone is working. Um, it was that simple. I'm shocking myself. Because definitely I committed to making a podcast in 2020. And as a clever person, I just was like, it's got to be in my attic because my attic has insulation that's exposed that would isolate the noise. It was well produced, all this stuff. Individually, it's like a team of one, but not a team of one up here. Like there is a lot going on up there. Um, I just made another clip that like randomly I accidentally stopped, so I'm taking that as a little sign from up above that the things that were meant to be said are like just try. Like just try. Just do something. Fail over and over. I'm literally sitting here with the microphone that started it all. I do have better equipment now to produce music and other things, but I haven't even touched any of them. Like I've sat with a majority of my software and my hardware for months and in some cases years. So it's just my advice. Like my advice is fail. Like fail over and over again and do it harder and harder each time because it becomes less embarrassing and I'm more fully equipped to understand like my perspective, my POV. Um because of it. I know exactly what works and what doesn't. And in terms of what makes me happy internally, what's motivating me, um, I was a kid in 2017 arguing with my father, and he bought me a G7X, not Sony, Canon little video camera because. Okay, I just did it again. I accidentally stopped the video because my mouse button was right over the recording button, and my screen keeps going dark. So if I'm making these, I guess I'm gonna have to like somehow figure out how to turn that off temporarily. Let me get more comfortable. I was just talking about failing. My entire education was a massive failure. I knew I was pretty intelligent, capable. Like, I'm not the smartest person in the room, but my creativity definitely gives me a direct edge over the mundane. That is me quoting myself in my personal insight questions to my university on the low because it's true. Like, my creativity has really kept me competitive. I've had people resent me for really breaking things down like all the time. I can't even sit in front of a DJ and commonly listen. That doesn't exist to me. Like, I'm going to have fun if the DJ is producing good shit, a good time, an ethically good time. I'm not looking for what you just slapped off of a Spotify playlist and thrown on your deck and like ran with. Like, if that's your good time, that's your good time. It's not mine. This is art. Like, it means a lot to me. Um, and sorry if it doesn't mean anything to you. Like that, and whatever. Like that ain't my business any longer. Like I am not in the interest of others, and that's where I'm getting at with the whole fear of failing. Just fail over and over and over again. I love it. Anywho, I mean that's being an artist too. Like an artist is putting like random goddamn stuff together and making it work. Like finding out like what isn't working is the start of it. That breaks down in society. I'm in political science, so like art and political science, they're two strings in the same like basket to me because the political science aspect of studying like societal ways of communicating and the effectiveness behind certain forms of communications, and then also like art is in itself inclusive. Art is everything included. Like yeah, art pop. Like you literally design what it is, and then pop is just the drift away from art that is capitalism. It's the most produced, it's the most designed, it's the most like yeah, it's not spontaneous, it's not in depth, it's not underground. Pop music, if I'm making pop and a pop album, resourcing. I'm finding out what's working, I'm designing an album to cross that finish line of capitalism. Because we're not in a time and age yet. I mean, Spotify's in a great position to endorse individual artists even more, give more resources to individual artists, like self-publishing and producing profiles that can interact, people interacting with each other more. I know they're heading this way as they Call Her Daddy's podcast video formats are more accepted, but they don't even have it on the TV. I can't stream that on my TV and television. Like, there is an entire market to be opened in artist design, and I'm interested in it. I am going to be working at it. And really that's my point with this like little spiel is I'm moving forward. I'm forgetting about that kid that just had it in his head to not try, like, and not be happy. It was better in my sense to protect me not being happy than even being happy and failing and trying. Like, it's so sad and it's so self-deprecating, but it's my tongue, and I just was occupying the thought that I needed the approval of other people around me. And it's really sad. It's really sad because I'm not going to get across that finish line with those people around me. Like, it's me. It's me alone and the team that I assemble with this. Like, it's literally the Avengers are getting together, guys. Like, slow and steadily, we are so grateful to have a team in the first place. But secondly, it's like, it's the Ohana. It's my family. It's my aloha. Like, quite literally, if you know, you know. But just getting into it and moving forward. Like, we are not going back. I am not going back. And art right now has to be lifted up and celebrated. And it's in front of you now. It's you or the audience. I'm trying to connect to the majority of people who have a really good story to tell when I say this. It's not me singing. It's not me anything like this. I'm directly addressing my past mistakes. And those past mistakes were buying a $2,000 camera, the Sony a7 III, I think, buying so much equipment and thinking I was going to just make a buck, like, and like have this know-it-all podcast on the side in 2020. And I was like, yeah, I'll do like a real estate film photography. I bought a drone. Like, that drone was cool. It was so cool. Like, I loved having a drone and being able to play with it. Because Mavic Air makes them safe. Like, you can fly and operate them in the like restrictions of air control. Majority of drones are independent and they don't have that agency. So Mavic was just accessible and and I was like, I'm gonna make a buck filming real estate because it's a fast turnaround. You always need it, and this is my life now. Like, I'm doing this because I need to make money. It's always, I need to make money, because if you grow up, I grew up with a father that instilled business in me, like, to my detriment, and is more preoccupied from, I think past, like, issues, is really worried that if one day he were to leave, what would he be left with me as a single father in his heart. Obviously, we're a family now. There's more people, a lot more people in this family, and it's gone through, it's healed. It's, I've buried my grandmother in the ground and that love in the ground, and I've allowed the tree to blossom from underneath and, pick me back up. And I resented that growth. I really did. It was hard. It was uncomfortable. And it's designed in mistakes exactly like this, and putting down money fictitiously, not having a proper plan, knowing I need to make a business plan. I literally assembled one. I was like, I'm going to put it in a binder. I'm going to make the business plan with no follow-up, like no courage, no team, no no one believing that it would even happen. So it's like at the end of the day, if I didn't care about it, it's not going to happen. Like if I do not care about this project, it's not going to happen. Um, that ended up changing sometime in like 2022 when I really began, I'd say, editing. Editing was the first time the magic helped me like move myself along, and my imagery and artistry and like what kind of talents I have. Like I got to like figure it out. And it wasn't on a MacBook. I figured out a way that worked for me. I'm not gaslighting. I'm gatekeeping all of those tricks until one day I can, you know, have a son, have a daughter, and be like, this is what it all is. Like this is the screen dropping. And I love you so much. Like that's where I'm aiming, and I'm putting my eggs in that basket. I'm moving forward because I want a family. I want a husband that loves and adores our children and is going to take care of our children with me. Like um that's my happiness, and I look forward to the day that I get to walk down a fake aisle, a real aisle, whatever it be, and put a ring on another man's finger and commit to someone. And this is as important because you have to commit to your art. Like you have to put a ring on your art's finger, and you have to love it day in, day out, sickness and in health. Like I cannot stress that part enough. That is what it is to fail. It's to have the hard conversations. It's to like, and like I've never been good at taking critiques. It's one of my faults. My ego, because of that shelteredness with having to protect my art at all costs, has definitely has made some defense mechanisms that are unhealthy. They're coping mechanisms, because I just think it can be stripped away from me at any given point. No one can take your art from you. I was telling a friend of mine, this is where I'm going to end this little spiel at. I was giving my friend some advice very recently on how she's going to buy an expensive camera, and she was like, yeah, it's blah blah blah, and I was like, no way, I just sold my Canon for like $200 when I was unemployed. Like that camera traumatized me because it was bought at a time and place that was like most non me. Like it literally, I might be still like mentally ill and thinking that a camera can have that type of power on me, but like I never used and curated content to the size that of course Emma Chamberlain was going to be, and she knew that when she designed her content. She made that content because she believed in it. And I bought a camera. Lied again right there. I didn't buy the camera. My father bought the camera for me at a time where we were most volatile. And I resented it. I resented it all the way up to buying it. And truthfully, I regret selling it. I wish I'd, had the advice around me at the time to file for unemployment, because it was a job that most certainly could have used. I was laid off. Like I had the most perfect reason to go to my government and use its agency ethically. And no one advised me to do that. And I sat months by, sold that Sony A7 III, sold my Canon, and got through a hard time in my life where I fucked up. I didn't rely on my community. I was too insecure and didn't want to immediately go back into the workforce either. Like I was looking and I was having a hard time getting rejected. I mean, that's why it put me back in college, and so on. Those are all stories for another day. We're dipping our toes here, opening up Pandora's box, and ending it with that advice that I gave to that friend is go buy the cheaper camera. Go buy the $150 camera and be able to flip that profit. Like if you really need that profit, like do not buy the $1,500 camera, because that $1,500 you can save, and you can produce other really cool shit with it rather than relying solely on a piece of equipment that you don't know how to use yet. Whether it's a write-off or anything. Like I was pretty much being like, yeah, it's a write-off. Like I can just throw it, like you can sign under your own social security number a business and you can write these things off, because I was literally like, I'm making my own business. I'm doing this. Like this is going to make me money. And I failed. I was a failed business. It was a failed business adventure. The biggest lesson I have to share, and like that is where we're at, is get the smaller camera and learn and break it. Like literally use it until it's done, and then go be proud of yourself and go buy that next camera and like leg up and evolve. Like it's not an industry. The industry is just an industry. Like you are your own lifeline. You got to love what you do. The industry is also always going to be there. Whether, media portrays it differently, the media is curated and designed, and maybe a majority of 20 people own it, which is the biggest problem in America that Americans are facing, is that direct issue of the 1% capitalizing on our art and our creativity and our prosperity and our eudaimonia. So it all goes back to that. Just fail. Just be happy. It is a choice. Most days. Obviously circumstantial, but you've got yourself. I've got myself. And to anyone that has that dream, you stick with it. I'm sticking by mine. I don't care what you think of that. And in simple terms, I hope you don't too. And just do it. Literally just do it. That is not a Nike reference. That's just a me thing. Like, that is just do it, and do it to the best of your abilities, and fail and do it again. So we're here. And I wanted those people all to cross the finish line with me, but it's not going to happen. And I'm letting go of that. I'm letting go of those people, the closest people around me that I have that are still in my life that don't get it. They won't get it. They won't get it, and they still won't get how it happened. Like it's at this point, sometimes it's an inside joke, but I hope everyone the best. I will check in when I have another opinion or thought to throw up on this YouTube channel. I am going to be producing Minecraft content because I got to put myself through college, and I'd love to give myself something to do. I haven't edited videos in a really long time, and I'd like a streamlined form of content that can keep me busy in the morning, like especially. Like I'm going to be doing it in the morning. Like I'm basically getting up and not having anything to do. And like, yeah, I could walk. Yeah, I could do these things. But like genuinely, I'd rather be creative. I'd rather sit down and be able to build something, collect some resources in Minecraft, and literally just be happy. And that's all I got right now. See you later. Bye.